What's up, guys? Vlog number 2 already this morning. It's probably about 7 right now. I gotta go to the lead weigh-in. Probably hit the sauna a little bit just so I can be at a comfortable weight and maybe eat a little bit this morning before I leave for Minnesota. So we'll see you later. We're all done. I weighed about 180.2 and then I got in the sauna and I didn't really weigh after that because I already knew I was about a pound under. So I'll probably go back and eat some food. Weigh-ins are at 5 today, so we'll see you then. I'm currently in bumfuck Iowa, waiting for my brother and Marcus to show up so we can head out to Minnesota. It's like another hour and a half or 2-hour drive, so I'm not excited about that. I'm already sick of driving. I'm thirsty and I'm hungry. So yeah, it's golly. What'd we just do, buddy?
We just smacked a big buffet.
Alright, buddy. What are you opening at?
I'm opening squat at 440, deadlift at 445, and bench at 308.
That's big, man. I'm in the 181, 82 and a half kilogram class. My opener for squats, 429. My opener for bench is 286. And my opener for deadlift is 572. I think for squat I'm going pretty conservative because I was having depth issues, I guess. But my third attempt for squats like 462. Bench I go from 286 to like 308 or something, and then I go to 314 and a half, which will be a PR. And then deadlift I'm starting at 572, going up to 599 and a half, and then finishing at 616. So something that kind of sucks about today was we had weigh-ins from 5 to 7 and we showed up about 5:30. This morning I only had like a protein bar and some water this morning, and I didn't eat anything until like probably 6 o'clock right after weigh-ins because I was worried about making weight, and I ended up being like 2 pounds under the weight that I was supposed to be at. So I mean, I played it pretty safe there. But when we were going through equipment check, I guess they didn't certify Rogue wrist wraps, Rogue knee sleeves, and then I had Ray-Ban knee sleeves that they didn't certify. So tomorrow I have to use somebody else's knee sleeves and one of my friends' wrist wraps. So, and Colin's got to use somebody else's knee sleeves as well, and it's gonna be a little rough considering we could potentially be in the same squatting flight. So we'll see what happens there. But right now we're pretty lucky that we had somebody that had some extra knee sleeves. Knee sleeves aren't cheap by any means. It's just kind of sucks that we bought them and now we can't even use them, especially because we've been training for the past 12 or so weeks with those same equipment. What you know, we out here at Target and it's like 7:15, getting some food, getting some essentials because we forgot our toothbrushes. We out here. Alright guys, it's Monday, about 2 days after my first comp, so I'm just going to do a little recap of kind of what I thought about it and what I thought about my lifts in general and my performance and what I think the next step's going to be. So first, it was really fun competing for the first time. I went into it thinking it would be like a legit competition, but everybody there was super nice and everybody was willing to help you out. Like I said earlier, my knee sleeves and my wrist wraps weren't certified to be used in the meet, so I mean, I thought I was absolutely fucked. So I came in the next day and Jeff gave my brother Colin a pair of knee sleeves, and we thought we were gonna have to share them. But we were back to back in squats, so I mean, I would have had the knee sleeves on, and I mean, you have a minute between the changing weights in the platform, so I would have to strip those knee sleeves off super quick, and Colin would have to get them on in time for him to complete his lift within that next minute. So that would have been a struggle, but one of the guys at Southside lent me his SBD sleeves, and that was really nice of him. I actually really liked using them. I think I'm going to invest in a pair because the fit was really nice and they just felt super comfortable compared to my Ray-Bans. And then the meet director had a pair of wrist wraps that I used, so that was also really helpful, especially because I used my wrist wraps in squat and bench. So without those, it just would have felt really, really foreign to me. So it was nice to have those. Now to kind of talk about my performance in general. I went in and my goals were to hit a 462 squat, 315 bench, and around a 616 deadlift. Squats went really well. We warmed up, everything was feeling fine. I got under the bar for the first time, unreacted, it felt fine. First squat flew, it was at 429. I came in for the next attempt at 446, I believe, and that flew too. So I mean, I would have liked to kind of go up maybe to 470, 475, something like that, but I just decided to stay the course and run it at 462. And I mean, 462 flew too. I got 3 whites on all 3 of those lifts, and it was super easy. So I was really happy with squats, and I think 462 was a 7-pound PR. I've never gone over 455. For bench, when I was warming up, things felt heavy, and I was kind of worried about how it was going to feel when I got on the comp bench. But my first attempt was at 286, and that, I mean, I got a lift off and I got it in my hands and it felt really good. I felt like the pauses were a little long, but it wasn't anything I couldn't handle, so 286 moved really well. So I bumped up to about 303 pounds, and that seemed to move pretty well too. The pause was a little long. I looked at the video and my elbows kind of flared out a little bit right after the pause, which, you know, I need to clean up in the next training block. But after 303, I just kind of went aggressive with it. Coach wanted me to go up to 314 and a half, or 315 pounds, so I did that. It felt fine after the lift off. I felt like it was pretty secure in my hands. While I went down for the pause, it was a pretty good pause, and then I just, you know, couldn't lock it out. Kind of hit a sticking point. My elbows were flaring. Didn't hit it, but that's fine. So out of my first 6 lifts, I went 5 for 6, and just failed that last 315 bench. And then deadlifts rolled around, and that, you know, I mean, deadlifts are my strong suit, I would say. We started warming up. One of the deadlift bars broke, and one of the guys that worked at Southside had to come fix it, so we were lifting on a stiff bar for the first couple warm-up sets. And I mean, that's not anything that, you know, could have done anything to my deadlift, but everything just kind of felt off. It could have been because I didn't really sleep a lot the night before. I was really anxious, but yeah, I think I opened up at 572 pounds. which tied the Minnesota State record, and that was my opener. And I got up there, it moved pretty slow off the ground, but lockout was easy, and I was like not really feeling the best. My hip flexors were just so freaking tight and sore, and I couldn't really move well. Not a lot of flexibility there, so I was kind of limited. The plan was to go up to 600 pounds right then on the second attempt, but I had to be conservative there, so I went up to 584 pounds. My hips were killing me at this point. I went up, tried lifting it, didn't get it off the ground. I hit 585 probably a week and a half ago, but it wasn't going on Saturday. But I had to scratch my last attempt because there was no point in risking injury by keep forcing my hip flexors into it. So I finished the day going 6 for 9. I finished with a 462 squat, 303 bench, and 572 deadlift for a 1339 total, which qualified me for USPA Nationals in July. So that was nice, but I really wanted to at least hit 600 on deadlift, but other than that, I was pretty satisfied with my numbers, I guess. Now that my first comp's over, I'm really not sure what I'm gonna do next. There's a upcoming meet in May that I might do. It's a tested meet, so I mean, I wouldn't be lifting against, people who are using enhancing drugs, which is that's just not something that I do, and I'd like to qualify for tested nationals, but I'm not sure if I'm gonna push my hips quite yet. I might switch back to conventional deadlifts or completely revamp my sumo technique just so I can actually pull weight without restricting my hips completely and potentially throwing off my entire training. But yeah, if I were to compete later in May, then I would have a week to rest, and then I'd get right back into my 12-week training block for comp prep, and I'm just not sure if that's something that I want to push my body into right now. I'd kind of like to have a little bit of an off season so I can try to build some strength and get my numbers up there to where I want them to be. I'd like to improve my bench and my squat, definitely, and more time would just give me more time to work on, perfecting the movements, perfecting my form, stuff like that. Also, I'm not sure if I'll continue competing at the 83 kilogram. I might move up to the 93, but I'm not sure. It wasn't hard for me to get down to, 82.5 kilograms. I was 3 pounds under, but I had to cut water, and I was restricting my food intake for the last few days, and that could have played a little bit of a factor into, my performance, but that's just something that I'll have to talk to my coach. Overall, I'd say for my first comp, I was expecting my to be super nervous, but once you get into it and once you really start getting comfortable with, there's people watching you, there's other competitors there, you really get used to it, especially because all the other competitors, they want you to do good too. It's not like other sports where it's one against the other person. It's everybody's rooting for each other to do the best that they can do, and I think that's really cool. It was just fun. It was a fun atmosphere to be in, and I'm looking forward to doing it again in the future. So I'm gonna wrap it up here. If you're watching this, thanks for watching. Leave a like, maybe give me a subscribe. First YouTube video. We'll see how it pans out in the future, but right now, thanks for watching.